Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. When I sit here and tell you that alone is better than being with the wrong person, I tell you from a personal truth. Not because being alone is easy, not because the quiet never hurts, not because solitude never stings, but because the wrong person can make you betray yourself so slowly that you don't even notice it happening until one day you wake up and realise you've gone missing inside your own life. That's a real danger. It's not always the shouting, it's not always the betrayal, it's not always a dramatic ending where everyone can clearly see you were wrong. Sometimes it's much quieter than that. Sometimes it's where you sit on the edge of your bed looking at your phone, reading the same message twice, checking the tone, wondering if you've asked for too much, wondering if you should send that next text, wondering if you're being needy or dramatic or sensitive, even difficult. That's where it starts. Not with a huge disaster, with little moments where you stop trusting your own feelings, little moments where you start editing yourself to keep the peace, little moments where you explain a basic need like you're asking for a favour. These moments where you lower your standards that you should have always kept. And because it happens slowly, you tell yourself, it's not that bad. You tell yourself every relationship can be hard. You tell yourself nobody's perfect. You tell yourself that they're trying. So you tell yourself to be patient. And while you keep telling yourself all of that, your spirit pays the bill. That's why being with the wrong person is more dangerous than being alone. When you're alone, the room might be quiet, but at least the peace is yours. Your thoughts are yours, your time's yours, your energy is yours. Your body's not sitting there bracing for the next mood shift, mixed signal, the next cold reply, the next apology that sounds nice but changes nothing. You're not walking on eggshells in your own life. That matters more than people admit. A lot of people are terrified of being alone. They treat being single like it's a failure. They treat quiet like emptiness. They treat their own company like some sad waiting room before real life begins. That's a mistake, because your own company heals you. The wrong company breaks you. And the worst part's not always that they hurt you. The worst part is what you start doing to yourself to stay there. You stop saying what you think. You stop asking for what you need. You stop calling things what they are. You might start shrinking, start rehearsing. You might start adjusting. You start calling anxiety love. You start calling waiting patience. You start calling confusion depth. You start calling emotional hunger chemistry. None of that's love. That's survival wearing nice clothes. Think about what it feels like to be with the wrong person. Your phone goes off and your stomach drops before you even read the message. They say they care, but you never feel settled. They say they'll call and you'll go to sleep not knowing if they will. They say you matter, but you feel like you're asking too much every time that you want consistency, honesty, effort, softness, reassurance, or just basic consideration. That's not connection. That's emotional uncertainty. And emotional uncertainty drains people faster than solitude ever will. Because when you're alone, you might miss company. When you're with the wrong person, you miss yourself. Now that line matters. When you're alone, you miss company. When you're with the wrong person, you miss yourself. You miss the version of you that laughed easily. You miss the version that sleeps properly. The version that doesn't overthink every little thing. You miss the version of you that didn't need to decode texts, moods, silences and broken promises like your life depended on it. That's the cost. And it's a bigger cost than most people want to admit. Because once you start living like that, your whole body will learn it. Your chest gets tight, your sleep gets light, your mind gets noisy, your standards get weaker, your world gets smaller, and then the relationship starts shaping your whole life. You lose focus at work, you lose your calm in yourself, you lose joy in things that used to feed you. You lose time, you lose energy, you lose trust in your own voice. That's why the wrong relationship is not just emotionally painful, it's expensive, it costs in every direction, and yet people stay. Why? Because the wrong person's rarely wrong all the time. That's what makes it confusing. There are good moments, there's chemistry, there's memories, there's history. There's a version of them that you keep hoping will become permanent. And hope can trap you if you're not careful. Because sometimes you're not in love with what is happening, you're in love with what you think it could become. You're attached to the potential, you're attached to the moments where they're almost got it right. You're attached to the version of them that shows up just enough to stop you leaving, but never enough to let you fully rest. That's a brutal place to live, because now you're not loving what is, you're waiting for what might be. And while you wait, life passes, your confidence drops, your self-respect wears thin, your body keeps taking a hit. So let me say something people need to hear without all the soft wrapping around it. Potential is not a relationship. A promise is not a relationship. A good week is not a relationship. A nice apology is not a relationship. Words are not relationships. Consistency is. Safety is, peace is, honesty is, effort is, care is. That's what a real relationship feels like. It's not perfect, it's not a fantasy, but it's safe. Safe enough that you can relax and rest. Safe enough that you can speak and not think about punishment. Safe enough that you're not always reading between the lines. Safe enough that love doesn't feel like a test that you keep failing. The right person just adds peace, the wrong person adds pressure. The right person makes you feel steady. The wrong one makes your inner world loud. The right person doesn't make you beg for basics. The wrong one makes you feel grateful for crumbs. And once you start being grateful for crumbs, you're already in trouble. Because now your standards are moving backwards. Now you're celebrating the bare minimum. Now you're calling relief happiness. Now you're calling the absence of pain love. That's not the same thing. Relief isn't love. Intensity isn't love. Attachment isn't love. Need is not love. Love has peace in it, not boredom, not deadness, peace. The kind of peace where you can breathe normally, the kind of peace where you know that you're heard, the kind of peace where you're not treated like a problem, the kind of peace where you don't have to abandon yourself to keep somebody else. That's what people need to wake up to, because too many people are terrified of empty space, so they stay in the wrong arms. Too many people are afraid of sleeping alone, so they keep lying awake next to somebody who makes them feel unloved. Too many people are afraid to start over, so they stay where they are, slowly disappearing. That's a tragedy. Not being alone, losing yourself because you're too afraid to be. And listen, being alone's not always easy. There'll be nights where it feels quiet. There'll be mornings where you miss having somebody there. There'll be moments where you question yourself. That's normal. But that kind of pain's clear. It's honest. It doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you doubt your worth. It doesn't make you negotiate with your own dignity. It gives you room to hear yourself again, room to feel what you need to feel, room to remember what peace is, room to build your standards, room to stop performing for love and start receiving it when it comes. That's why solitude can be sacred. Not because it's glamorous, because it gives you yourself back. And once you have yourself back, you stop accepting things that cost you too much. You stop calling emotional instability passion. You stop calling half effort love. You stop calling mixed signals mystery. You stop calling neglect independence. And you stop calling survival connection. You start seeing clearly. And clarity changes everything. So if you're in that place right now, hear me. You don't need to be scared of being alone. That you stay somewhere that's teaching you to abandon yourself. You don't keep shrinking just to keep somebody. Don't keep calling it love if your body never gets to rest. Don't keep waiting for a version of them that only appears when you're about to walk away. Choose the quiet if the quiet gives you your mind back. Choose the empty room if the empty room is where your spirit can breathe. Choose your own company if that's where your peace lives right now. Because being alone might hurt for a little bit, but being with the wrong person can damage you for years, and your life's too valuable to keep spending it on love that makes you feel more alone than solitude ever will. So choose peace, choose clarity, and choose yourself. Because alone's not the worst thing that can happen to you. Losing yourself is. The right person, when they come, they'll never ask you to. You think about this, guys. And if you're in this situation, believe me when I tell you, it gets so much better on the other side. You take care and stay blessed. This is the way. Namaste.